So going on my last play, I think it's fair to say if you want to defend yourself effectively and grab expansions effectively, you go vehicles first. Simply because the movement speed and, well, the projectiles and stuff.
Okay.
I did also, I'm not sure if you saw my my ping, but I noticed that some of the air fabbers were landing underneath the ground.
We did see that. That was very strange. I will have to let Elijah know about that. Okay. Once again, perfectly average spawn distance.
Nice clump of metal between Colin and Zaphod there as well.
Stuff to fight over.
I mean, depending on the factory that Zaphod goes first, I guess, well, he's gone air first, so I guess he'll probably be expanding with the fabbers.
He'll probably will. What I expect him to do is he'll use the air to find Colin as quickly as possible with the scout. Then he may use the air for other stuff in terms of expansion and stuff like that. I think that would be a good way to go. It's usually just a lot easier to expand away from your opponent, though he doesn't actually have the best expand away possibilities. But for the air, it won't matter so much. And then I expect him to like really just start spamming out the factories quickly. You know, we talked about it briefly, but I think that a mix of bots and tanks to me is the best. Like Infernos are really good, and then if you also have the combat fabbers to heal stuff, and then something medium range, either the grenadiers or the unit cannons, then I think that's like a really good combo. Gets in there. Was that a bomber he did first?
Yeah, Zaphod loves his T1 bomber harass, but
yeah.
Unfortunately it got shot down by the commander this time because Colin's not expanding as rapidly as Zaphod wants him to.
Right, yeah. So he's got to know that he's probably got a pretty good guess which direction Zaphod's going to come from.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a couple of viable spawn points because it still seems to be the sort of five mech spawns. So there's only the North Pole where Zaphod is, and the other side of the planet, just on the other side of the south, where you've actually got.
He does get
spawns.
Yeah, he got one fabber, so that's useful. He really ought to just put down. Oh, he did bring out an anti-air, so that's good. He got another fabber though, so.
Yeah, Zaphod's got a nice firefly there, just to the west of Kola's base, just to keep an eye in case he builds something
on
in
expansion.
that direction.
Yeah, pretty smart. Colin's actually a little ahead on metal, like got one extra metal extraction point. So the fact that he's lost a couple of fabbers isn't that he's got 2 fabbers out. Zaphod has 2 fabbers out, so really, even though he's lost a couple of fabbers, he's kind of ahead, or about equal.
Yeah, now that he's sort of keeping tabs on those couple of expansions with that skitter, he'll be able to sort of keep Zaphod's ground fabbers away from it as well, just like he was with mine last game.
Yep.
But he has now seen the air fabbers going around, so Kola's going to see, okay, so Zaphod's going to expand that way.
Yeah. Zaphod's going to expand every way. Zaphod's pretty good about expanding.
And here's that skitter harass now, just keeping that mech slow. Surprised it's not sort of moving around to take the fabber out, which is I think what it's doing now.
Well, it's shooting, but it's shooting at the middle extraction point, which is kind of not the best.
Yeah, I mean, Zaphod could reclaim it. There he goes. He's
there he goes.
Now.
Yep.
Nice bit of metal there for him.
Yeah. He's gonna have a little harder time reclaiming this this unit cannon.
Unit cannon. So we haven't seen a name change to it in this patch, then.
No, not in the balance build. No. Every time I hear Zaphod, I think, I should rename it Scamper.
Oh dear.
Okay, so he started his advanced vehicle factory, and that is a whole pile of metal. Let me see if I can remember what that is. 7,200 metal. So that's a lot of metal. He could build many unit cannons at that cost.
Yeah, but he hasn't got the lots of factories being spanned. Zaphod's starting to get out a few more T1 factories now, and he's also entrenching himself on the other side of that mechs field.
Yeah, he got a laser tower up. His is not shooting back for some reason.
Perhaps it's because Kola's is targeting the wall, but just shooting over.
And just kind of getting a little of extension, yeah.
Yeah.
Might have been out of range.
Because I see the projectiles actually going through the wall, so maybe it's doing
they
collateral
project through
damage.
just a little bit, huh?
Yeah. So Zaphod now getting out lots of vehicle factories. Going to start with a couple of Infernos, but Kola's almost finished his C2 factory.
Yeah.
This is worrying.
It's very interesting. Little pelter action going down there. I wish I could see the range spectator on the pelter.
Yeah. What's about the cost of buildings that are going up, perhaps? I mean, once they're built, you can see what they're doing. But
yeah.
So Zaphod's got a couple of unit cannons moving in around the flank to the undefended part of Kola's base.
Yeah. So now, Kola Collins building a Faber, Tier 2 Faber. Tier 2 Fabers are actually another 4,800 metal. It builds a lot faster, but it uses all his metal. Like that factory spends 135 metal per second, and he only has 93 per second. So he's way low. Once again, sends all his fabricators into the base. He says, like, these Tier 1 fabricators are useless. I hate them. And just throws them away.
Yeah, we were discussing it in the channel, and he was just like, "Here, you can have all my Fabers," and I just see a massive line of Fabers entering my base. I was like, "Don't shoot them! Give them back!"
Yeah. I want those. So he's almost done with his first metal extractor. Once he finishes that, that'll give him another, 100 metal.
That is...
And there he is. So now he's
wow.
way ahead on economy. And I'm
not sure there's much Zaphod can do about it at the moment, because he's not even begun his T2 yet.
Yeah, and he's sent these units in one by one. I mean, he's using the pelter to take out that... Well, no, Zaphod's goal is to try to kill him with T1. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also taken most of the mechs on the planet that isn't sort of immediately sort of contestable by Kola.
Yeah.
And he's still trailing about 150 odd mechs.
Yep. And
there's the energy. Woof!
There's the energy. So he's got a bunch of energy. And now he's got some levelers, so it'll be just a question of if Zaphod attacked with the units he had right now, I think he could take out the tower, he could take out that sheller.
He could probably do a bit of damage to the energy and mechs as well, but of course there's more going up in the back of the base.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Inferno's moving in with the Pelter now. Does the Pelter still have unit leading?
Yeah, I believe it does, but his pelters died. The sheller took out the pelters.
Oh, of course it's the sheller, didn't it? Yeah. Gosh, the range on that is crazy.
So he took out the tower. Another tower going up, but it's anti-air anyway.
He lost his Infernos though, but the unit cannons should be able to make short work.
But he's able to get damage out there. Now the commander's going to come out. Now there's a change to the Uber cannon here. Two changes really. One is there's a 4-second cooldown on the, or there's a 4-second reloading of ammo that happens with the Uber cannon, and it didn't really look like it. We lowered the damage. The center of the damage AOE is the same, so the main part hits just as hard, but the AOE is reduced. Now it looks like it still took out those units in one shot, which is not what I had hoped for. He's able to fight these tier 2 with tier 1.
Providing he can get close.
Yeah, he's having trouble getting close enough.
I mean, those shellers have, I believe they have radar coverage of the expansions, so they were just absolutely wrecking those a minute ago. Because they have superb range.
Commander's gonna take all this out. Okay, see, he took out one of those guys. Some of those guys survived the Uber cannon, I guess is my point.
Yeah. This is radius 400, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So next wave coming in now. Still having trouble against those shellers.
Well, the shellers are good.
It's your spinner just being thrown in for the sake of it as well.
Yeah. Well, some bombers wouldn't be a terrible idea against all this ground, but
In fact, Zaphod's got a couple of unit cannons moving in on the back of Kola's base where he's expanding with his T2 mechs. Kola's just noticed it and pulled his Faber away, but too slow, unfortunately. It was taken away.
unfortunately for him.
Ooh.
Fortunately for Zaphod.
Yeah, there's only like 5, 6, 7 mechs unclaimed now.
On the planet, yeah. He's doing a good job of building out. So he's really expanded everywhere, and he's got tons of T1. And he's going tier 2, and I think that's good. Like, I don't think there's any reason for him to wait any longer. Like, he can clearly afford it, and now he's got a bunch of Infernos coming right into Cola Collins' base. They're a little grouped up. I kind of wish they were farther apart for the Uber Cannon.
Oh, gosh.
One survives. That's going to get taken out by the commander.
Yeah. There's also
that was a nice... Go ahead.
So I was just going to say there's a Vanguard making his way through Zaphod's base now, and there's only a couple of turrets taking it out.
Yeah.
But that's had a massive speed increase, actually. It's what now, 10 or something like that, if I remember rightly?
Vehicles are a little faster than they were before in general. However, they are still not quite as fast as the bots.
I mean, I guess the bots is more the sort of coaxing your opponent towards you because of the way the Grenadier works, and then you just sort of move in with the vehicles, sort of Battle of Hastings style.
Yeah, so he did, like, those spinners did pay off. Some bombers came in, but it wasn't enough. Only like 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah. Lots of Vanguards now. 2 in this wave, plus a Sheller. And there's a Leveler over there as well. This isn't looking good for Zaphod.
Nope. He's losing a ton of fabricators here.
Excuse me.
Now he's got his own. He's got his own tier 2 done. He's not assisting it. Oh, look at that Vanguard!
All his energy. Well, not all of it, but like a stupid amount of it. He was in double figures, but now only single. How much damage do those Uber cannons do now? Not quite enough. I think he might get taken out.
Oh, back up, back up, back up. Oh no, his commander, it's on fire.
He can't do anything against that. Cola's complaining.
Complaining no T2. Alright, so hopefully those guys will unmute here in a second. I mean, you can also Uber cannon them pretty easily.
Yeah.
I didn't catch the start of the previous game, but I think that Zaphod just let Colin to evolve way too quick.
Yeah, he got into a more passive state where he
Mhm.
wasn't harassing anymore. Looks like Colin goes vehicle first. It's fine.
I think that with increased speed of tanks, it's really great to just rush your enemy with these vanguards and tanks mixed with these feathers. It's really great.
Yeah, I think Zaphod should just build a radar. He build a radar. Odds are he's going to find Colin.
Yeah,
And if
on
not,
such a small
if it
planet,
doesn't
definitely.
see him, then he kind of knows where he is anyway.
Yeah.
They're basically just mirrored spawns.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'd be interesting to
Colin
see
can
how-
only expand towards Zaphod. So.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
Zaphod
it is
seems
hard
to
to
make
expand.
a
Metal.
for himself.
By the way, in the next build, you guys are going to see some, or they might be out actually already with the metal controls.
The sliders?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're in.
Yeah, so you should play with those things because I think that you guys might find for your tournaments that you may want to choose, a different setting than default, and we may change the
Yeah.
default at some point. But with the kind of the clumpiness and the distribution, like you can come up with some. You should try them to their zero them out or max them out or max out one and leave the other one minimized. And if you do that, those combos.
Yeah, we already
you see
discussed
some-
that. Yeah.
Some really interesting patterns.
Yeah. We discussed that with our map creator, and he wants to focus on the metal is scarce, so the players will have to fight over
Yeah.
it, which I found quite cool for tournaments, because tournaments is about expanding and defending your expansions, so
Yeah.
I
So
think that small clusters around the whole planet. Yeah.
yeah.
But it will be interesting to try like a planet totally covered in metal.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all worthwhile experiments, but now you've got the power in your hands. So you can try it out. You get the one. So Zaphod his scouts did get a whole view of Colin's base, and Zaphod is out expanding him now. Got an
I
idle
already
fiber
can
over there.
see that
Alan like
Plane's
him.
having a little struggle with expanding somewhere.
I
Not
like
much
the
max
way
there.
Colin sort of moved some stingers to his expansions and beyond to try and sort of counter Zaphod's air faber expansion, though he doesn't seem to have pushed that any further.
Yeah.
A couple of skitters being a pain.
Though
here
since he's
and
using the
Yeah,
skitter
it's
to
very
scout
good.
now,
Yeah.
he's actually, yeah, he got him.
there. Colin already with his T2. Got a
Yeah,
few
that was
extra
that
mechs
was
as
good.
well.
I do like that. Yeah, they're actually pretty even in the mechs. So far, like the total expansion area feels a little bit better for Zaphod. Colin's been able to keep up.
Oh, there we see some factories now being queued. Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at that. Yeah. No bot factories though, huh?
Yeah. He doesn't like
I'm
fabrics.
sensing he didn't believe us.
Yeah. He never liked the combat fabrics. Yeah.
Oh, the combat fabbers are so good.
Yeah, they're so great.
Like, not only do they heal stuff automatically, which is just great. I mean, you can like put one to patrol in your base and it'll just repair it up. So even if you've been raided, you get fixed.
Yeah.
But they build at the same efficiency, metal to energy wise, as
Thank
the regular fabbers,
Oh.
but twice as fast. But they don't cost twice as much.
Oh,
No, he did build a bot
Yeah.
factory.
yeah. I see it. Well, I saw during your stream that you were using these combat fabrics on the
Mhm.
Infernos, and I think there was like a little group of units going against a turret, and
Uh-huh.
not a single unit died there
Yeah.
because of the healing.
Yeah.
I think
So that's really great, and that's how you should mix your units to get the most of it, most out of it.
Yeah, and it's fine and okay to just use a completely homogeneous set of units. It's just that you'll get the best results if you mix them.
It's pretty unbelievable. This tier 2 is almost up. And look at the time, it's 5:30.
Yeah.
See his
The
metal
metal
skyrocket.
increase did nothing. It's still the same time as before, almost.
Well, I mean, we did ask you guys to rush it pretty hard, but I just feel like, I mean, there's a lot of just building going on here in Zaphod's base, and he hasn't moved forward to attack at all.
Yeah, he's not harassing.
Maybe it's because it's not. Maybe it's not reasonable to think that he would be attacking already. But yeah, you know, Colin got left alone, and now he's got a tier 2 factory.
Zephyr has managed to stop one
there-
of his expansions, though. There looks like there's been a skitter take out a Faber just to the northeast of Colin's base there. But again, it's not really enough.
Northeast, right? North.
Yeah,
and
Colin is
yeah.
on some metal problems now.
Yeah, it's really hard to run that factory. Like, there's no reason for his commander to be assisting. He can't even run it on its own.
But it's still going quite quickly.
Yeah, because the energy's floating.
Yeah.
And they're both floating
Now,
energy
when he has this Faber, he just needs to upgrade one metal field, and he's good.
Yeah, he's not even using his factory until it's gone up for precisely that
Yeah, well,
reason.
he shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
now he is using
exactly.
it. In
I'm
comes
not
another unit cannon.
Oh, he's just paused
You know,
his
guys,
factory. Wow, that's interesting.
It's really interesting you choose to increase the metal from Advanced Metal Extractor, while everyone kind of expected it would be lower, you know?
Yeah, well, the goal. So all this started because we wanted to make it easier to build. We didn't want to make it easy to get any easier to get to tier 2 in the first place, but we did want to make it easier for you to build out multiple tier 2 factories once you were in tier 2. That started everything.
Zaphod's finally moving out.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately,
like he doesn't
he's
have a
going for the
tier 2 army. He's
expansion.
just got economy so far.
Yeah. He's going for the expansion. I'm not sure that's a good choice. If he went straight to his base, he would just win now.
Well, he still may. I think
yeah.
I wish he had like a couple of those combat fabrics. They do even better with 2 or 3 of them. But he still didn't lose a unit in there, did he?
I think he lost
didn't.
one.
No, it looks like I see 2 wreckage.
Oh, yeah, true.
Well, there's a third one as well, or is that the turret?
Yeah, I see it.
And there we go. And if the commander doesn't stop this...
So there's a Vanguard.
Colin's base kind of gone. Oh,
Yeah, the Vanguard takes them too fast for the combat faber to really come into its own.
Vanguard is too quick.
No, Vanguard's gonna die.
How did it... Did you see how he slowed down?
Yeah.
That was
I
weird.
think Zaphod's got this.
I must say, going back onto the sort of T2 mechs discussion, myself, Local Mad Sci, and Nanolathe did a free-for-all, an orbital free-for-all earlier, where our rule was that we had no T2 metal, but we could build anything else T2.
Yeah, I saw
And-
Brian's post on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
I see.
it was a really interesting game actually, because like we were forced to expand off planet, but even with lots and lots of energy, it still took forever to build things, and
Yeah.
we found that, you know, getting things like nukes up and lots of T2 units was a lot of trouble, and we just ended up using a lot of T1.
Yeah. Well, these guys are. He's losing a lot of his base. Like he's gonna have just that factory left.
Yeah, but he's still good.
Well,
He has all these... He has 3 advanced metal extractors.
No, he's not good.
still
I mean,
he's running
look
a
around the
deficit
map.
of 188 when he's
like,
building
look around the
things.
map. Like they've got even metal, and
Well,
Zaphod has a
yeah.
giant army, right?
Yeah,
like,
Zaphod has the ground, yeah.
like he's gonna come around and he's just gonna kill those advanced metal extractors.
Not
Yeah,
if that Vanguard
yeah.
gets close enough.
The Vanguard could do some damage. Yeah, he starts moving away now. I mean, he can.
Does the
He can
Vanguard
kite it.
slow down when it gets shot?
I think he slows down when you select him together with the commander, you know?
Oh, yeah, he might be moving with the commander.
Yeah, so that's... yeah.
He's
And
moving back a little bit now.
The commander cannot stop these units, I think. Well, it's
Well, he
risky.
can-
with
he
the
can
cooldown
gradually
on
uber
the
cannon
Uber
them.
So I think Zaphod's doing a great thing here. He's moving in from multiple sides. The commander can't come
Yeah.
and take them all out. Colin doesn't have a ton of units.
Yeah, it has 2 levelers and, well, a few shellers as well, but they can't take out this many units in one go. All it needs now is
Yeah, I
Zaphod to
think
move in a
Zaphod
few
can-
bombers, I
Like in a
guess.
second here, he's gonna kill that factory.
Yeah. Although it is getting healed by that T2 Faber, so it is sort of taking a while to damage it with T1 units. But as soon as the T2 Faber goes, it's going to start going down.
Well, the commander is down to 90% health, right? Like, if he gets whittled away like this, eventually he will die, right?
Yeah.
He's so holding there. Oh, his factory is now idle.
I would expect
It's-
Zaphod, if he doesn't manage to kill the commander here, sort of start moving up to T2 himself, simply because he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he can really afford it, and
Zaphod has a lot of idle factories down the south, near the
yeah,
crack.
just looking
Oh,
around, he's
there
got
we
a
go.
proxy
Now it
base
just
going
got-
up. He's got a couple proxy bases around the planet.
Yep.
Are they proxy if they're that far away?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just using it
Yeah.
for expansion bases, is maybe probably the better word.
Yeah, I mean, I call them staging posts, because Age of Empires 3 for some reason, but
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep bringing that up, but I don't know, staging post just sounds... I don't know. Anyway.
In a second now, he's going to lose the economy to even run his factory, so...
Does the
He has only
T2
5
mechs
metal
wreckage
detectors.
still defend the T1 mechs?
I'm sorry, ask that again?
When the because they still get built over, does the T2 mechs wreckage still defend the T1 mechs for a few shots?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Because I mean, I guess
We'll
that is
see.
a sort of saving
I don't
grace
think
of
we did
building the
anything to
T2.
change that, so however it behaved before, I don't expect it to behave now.
Okay.
It seems like Colin is still there.
He's still
Well,
holding
it is-
on, but
He is running that factory without a deficit, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, if Zaphod, this would be very reasonable for Zaphod to move to tier 2 at this point. It is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
amazing
exactly.
that Kolokalin has more energy or more metal per second than
Mm-hmm.
Zaphod.
His
3
vanguards
mechs.
cannot over- Levelers are quite powerful against T1.
Well, those
Another
vanguards
vanguard.
taking out the combat fabs.
So those guys are defending on that side, but meanwhile on the other side, I think he just needs to go ahead and take some losses by trying to kill that commander.
Yeah, those infernos will
Oh.
get close if they're
Well,
behind
most
the
of the
unit
tier
cannon.
2 units are dead now.
Yeah, most of that army's gone.
There.
Commander's taking quite a bit of damage. He's down to 75, maybe even 60% health. I think Zaphod is just refusing to build Tech 2 now. Like,
Yeah, I think
He
took
knows
that
he can get this
literally.
done with Tech 1. He wants to do it that way.
Don't need a new middle mouse button.
This is getting near the end as well. Gonna
The
lose
T2
there.
Mex is about to go down.
Yeah.
No, the Uber cannon gets off, but the Mex does go down indeed. The Vanguard's going to clear
Yeah.
that up nicely.
Yeah, he's gonna run into metal problems.
Well,
Colin.
he's still got
Zaphod's actually in
2.
metal problems.
Zaphod,
What's
well,
causing
he's-
that?
He's just building a lot, right? That's all.
Hmm. He's got a lot of fabbers on the front lines.
Oh, he's building pelters now.
He does. Yeah, I was like, why not build a pelter? That would be a reasonable thing to do. Is that pelter close enough to attack the factory?
I think no.
No, that's definitely out of range. He needs it
Yep.
up where those 2 walls are for it to be in range, I suspect.
There's a big force of Infernos coming from the north, right of the crack.
Yeah.
The Vanguards are just swatting them out of the floor before they get a shot
Yeah.
off, though.
Yeah. You can swarm them though.
Kolokol conceding, moving his commander in. Valiant effort.
Yeah.
Why didn't he... Well... Why didn't he build some T1 factory?
I guess a literal
Maybe he's
interpretation
taking
of
us
the rules.
literally as well.
Yeah.
Only tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can try another, but I think that the bigger planet will favor tier 2 rush. Especially in air rush.
That would be an interesting thing to check. All right. And by the way, GG guys.
GG.
That was a really, I thought that was a pretty cool game. Like, you know, operating under the constraints and then still like having a tough fight.
I think we need to let Colin know that he can like build T1 too.
Of course, like he
Because-
can build.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure he'd get his T2 up as soon as he did
Yeah,
if he was
the-
trying to
the-
build T1 at the same time.
The
Yeah,
objective was.
I was overdoing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were overdoing it.
So, yeah, I mean, with that last game, I think with that anti-air, and I think the crucial thing was the loss of that T2 Faber, really, which I think sealed the deal. If he had had a chance to get that out for a few more, you know, builds, I think he would have been able to put it back. But
So Martinus took a different spawn. Zaphod's in the exact same place.
I think this could be a stronger spawn for Martinus, actually.
Yeah, I think it might be better.
More immediate expansions.
He's got the places in between, which he can fight over, and he's got the places the opposite direction, which he can just take.
I fear the issue for Martinus, if he's still going to do the T2 rush, and say for the T1 rush, is that the distance between them, I think, isn't so great in terms of geography, because of the ways that Zaphod could still attack from. Like, yeah, it's at the South Pole, so zooming around is really quite awkward, but, you know, you can go over the pond, between the ponds, and in between the ponds you've got sort of 3 avenues. You've got the sort of sit in the bunker, or go to the north or the south of it.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be a job for Martinus to defend on multiple fronts. So I'm not sure if we've talked about in the stream the extra buttons in the bottom right.
Did you just see me clicking them in my stream?
No, I didn't, sorry.
So the very far right one is the Uber bar, which allows you to bring up the kind of chat and social features while playing a game. You know, you don't necessarily want that using up your valuable screen space while you're playing, but if you do want to chat with other players and stuff like that, you can do that, and they'll show up in that bar. The other one is Squiggle, and I haven't practiced using it, so it's hard for me to describe what to do, but it allows you to, it's advanced command and control feature, which allows you to draw an arbitrary line and say, hey, all your units, I want you to form up on this line. And you know, so if you want to say like, hey, form up on this line in this concave before I go into his base, you can use that to do that.
Oh, that's the line, yeah.
See what I mean? It's hard to explain. It's like,
Yeah. I remember trying to get used to using it, and I was like, I couldn't really figure out either what it was doing or whether I was doing it correctly.
yeah, I think you have to. Well, I haven't actually tried it myself. I've only seen Nick doing it. So I think so I don't know the controls exactly, but I think you have to either click A and then draw the line, or maybe you. I don't know. I just don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Now, looking back in the game, Zaphod's just scouted one of Martinus's expanding fabbers, and we actually see a Bumblebee going in on his bombing run here, and he's actually going to get the kill to defend this expansion. Again, no way, and there it goes.
Yeah.
He is getting the bot factory out, though, so he's probably going to start popping out the stingers.
Yes.
Another fabber goes. Oof.
Yep.
One thing Zaphod and I were discussing the other day was regards to stingers in defending against these sort of bumblebee sort of pick-off snipes, is that the stingers really have to be in a specific location in relation to the bumblebee's approach in order to actually be effective as well.
Yeah, because they'll get in there and get the shot in before they die.
Yeah.
Another fabber goes down.
Gosh, this is really painful for Martinus at this point.
Yeah.
He needs those stingers desperately. One is out now, so that bumblebee is going to get hurt a little bit, and Gatsily gets shot down.
Yeah. And then now Zaphod has a tank coming in to shoot him. It's interesting. I think this harass is good. It's a good part of the kind of the rush strategy we wanted to have. Look at those grenadiers taking out that tank.
Yeah, a tank for 1.5 grenadiers there.
Yep. And here come the tanks in general.
Yeah. Although they are going to run straight into that commander and be like, nope, I'm not having that. And probably retreat.
And the combat fabber already killed that other docks. Yeah, I think it's a great position for a tower right there.
Mm. Yeah, Zaphod being forced to retreat now and see if he can migrate a few units
sneak by.
around. Yeah.
Hopefully, Martinus is going to move over. Yeah, it looks like he's going to move over and try to catch him going the other way. If we look at his perspective, he has vision, so he can see where they are, and he's taking them out. It's not even doesn't even have to uber cannon.
That's unfortunate for Zaphod. Just testing the water though, but of course revealing a hole that Martinus can now plug relatively easily.
Yeah. I think he was going to go over there anyway, but now he's going to. Zaphod's reacting well. He's moving around. Zaphod's way ahead on expansion, but that's kind of the price that Martinus pays for having, a ton of fabbers working on the T2. Now, and sure enough, another tower going up around the other side of the lake. So when Zaphod's tanks arrive, they're going to run into a tank anyway.
Zaphod hasn't expanded as much this game, I don't think, in terms of his build power or energy eco, because he's now running a reasonable deficit in energy. And
yeah,
I mean, he is
both really.
He's getting quite a good bit of harass going on in the back. So, for instance, you've got the 2 skitters there. You've got the unit cannons coming in from a couple of good directions. Just really keeping Martinus boxed in so that Zaphod can expand safely, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, attention is one of the most constrained resources in a game like Planetary Annihilation or any RTS. A little bit of harass from these skitters here at the south side of the base, and the tanks are coming in too, so those fabricators might build this tower pretty quickly, but the tanks could take him out just as quickly.
No, with the eco he has, he's never going to get that up in time.
Oh yeah. And now the tank's doing a great job of harassing here.
Yeah. Doesn't even need the bombers, and the T2 still isn't up yet. Combat Fab's doing a bit of work, but only against the Stinger.
Yeah. Keeping it alive. Keeping the dream alive. I'm not sure why Martinus isn't... Oh, there comes out a tank, and he kills that one.
Yeah, managed to heal it really quite effectively. It was down at sort of 5% in a couple of times, but just kept alive.
Yep. And that tank, that factory's all healed up again too because of that combat fabber. Another laser tower at the southwest. Well, I guess it's not really southwest, but southeast side of his base.
Martinus just about to lose a couple of extra expanding fabbers there to 3 more unit cannons.
He might, yeah. You can actually keep those guys alive pretty well with the combat faber, like just the fabers. You could probably go in and just reclaim them all with a combat faber healing. And Martinus is going to pick him off now, so I think that worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah. Plus he's got those two of fabricators going away, and I suspect what he might do actually is rather than say, you know what, I'm not going to expand to where you think I'm going to expand, I'm going to be a bit ballsy here and expand off.
Go farther.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Zaphod now has like twice the economy, and he's moving in with a big army. The advanced factory, 80% done. Only one fabricator left doing it because he's working on energy. Actually, energy doesn't seem to be his problem. He seems to be just out of metal.
Yeah.
So...
What Martinus doesn't have either is defences on this bit where Zaphod is pushing in. I mean, he has his commander there, which is going to be a really strong asset, but there is that combat faber against those infernos.
Yeah.
Oh, that uber cannon!
Yeah, big uber cannon. Takes out a big chunk of them. Those infernos can actually do a lot of damage to the commander. There it goes. Okay, so he's fine.
Overshooting those unit cannons.
Yeah, that is interesting. And disappointing. You can see the shots curve down. Has to uber cannon to solve it. That's terrible.
Overkill.
That's bad, and I should feel bad, and I do. I'm gonna write down another bug.
So Martin's now getting off that cheeky little expansion on the equator there, where Zaphod's not expecting it. He's got some nice stinger defense as well now. So the T2 factory just about finishing, but what Zaphod has got here is the combat fabers and the infernos against single turrets which do not have walls defending them. So this is going to be a really effective push, I suspect. God, look at that.
Yeah, they hardly have to work, right?
They're just brushing that off. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Combat fabers are really good. And combat fabers are set to prefer to be at the back of the army. Infernos are set to prefer to be at the front of the army. So I think this push is going to be extremely effective.
What we don't see yet is that T2 factory being used, which is interesting because he's still running a deficit in metal anyway, so I guess he really wants to sort of focus on this push before starting to produce stuff.
Yeah. I really like what Zaphod does here, just run away from the commander. There's no reason for a confrontation here. He gets up there, he kills the fabricators.
Yeah, that factory's going to go down in this, I suspect. Or at least get a very large portion of damage. Which, if he's not careful, he could actually lose his factory as the Infernos turn in.
Yeah, I think it would be good to kill that T2 factory, because it is a very valuable asset. Like, the difficulty you would have to...
But he's lost all of his energy pretty much now. And Zaphod got the second push ready to come in as well, which is just gonna... Well, he's got a third one actually, and there's the GG.
Nah, I don't feel good about this at all.
Great. Where is the other spawninator? So this is actually the same original spawn that Zaphod and Colin had, right?
Was it Kohler at this point, or was it still Martinus?
I don't remember. That was so long ago. It was hundreds of seconds ago, you know.
I think this will also have to be my last game.
Yeah, no problem.
Revision, etc.
I mean, I'm at work here, man.
So, Zaphod opening with an air factory again, getting off a nice scout. Martinus with...
and the bomber comes out.
Yeah.
That fast bomber, it's like... well, he's only got one faber to kill, so it's not as bad.
I guess perhaps not revealing he has the bomber just yet might do, although the faber is now away from the commander. So, I guess if he sees
the faber's doomed.
Yeah, that
I dubbed the doomed faber.
It's gone.
Hey, remember that time you had a faber? That was a good time.
Nice faber. I'll take it.
Yeah. That's all right. He didn't have the energy to support that Faber anyway.
No room at the inn for this Faber. Second
All
one
right,
goes out to
he's
try and
done.
finish the work.
Bomber versus Skidder is not going very well for the Bomber. I mean, I guess eventually the Skidder will lose.
There's the Hummingbird out as well now.
Yeah,
so
Hummingbird
that's-
coming out.
That's gonna finish off.
Hey,
the
Bomber, I'm
nice
tired of
and
your
easy.
crap, man. That takes care of that.
sort
He
of-
actually has another fighter of his own.
Mm. Getting some nice trade-offs, leaving the Bumblebee standing, but
Yep.
just gonna dodge that commander and get off that another Faber kill.
How about here they come? Yeah, here comes the
Oh.
latest I can just turn this thing. Wait, which way's left? Damn it. Comes around, completely ignores the guy. He's like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here.
He's kind of doing what
Dance.
it's like a Cold War scenario. It's like, this is a show of force. Beware.
Oh my god, that is just ridiculous.
I might edit in some Benny Hill theme music here.
Yeah, exactly. That was hilarious. And out comes a fighter to take care of that problem.
Oh dear, I wonder how much attention they put on that bomb.
I know. So much. Yeah, that would be a good Benny Hill moment.
Meanwhile, 4 Fabers make it out in the heart of Martinus's base.
That's right. 5. Fabers are flowing freely. Maybe one of them should build an anti-air. I don't know. He's kind of forced a lot of. He's forced a lot of fighter building. Meanwhile, he's supposed to be rushing tier 2. I don't know how that's going. Yep, he hasn't started it yet.
I think perhaps he's consolidating T1 before the T2. In terms of being able to just hold off for long enough in terms of the defense. Because
Martinus is actually ahead on expansion right now.
he's even getting factories up at his expansions.
He abandoned it.
I must say, I really like the footprints now of the factories and the buildings.
Oh, the new skirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, the new skirts do look awesome. Hold on a second. Hey, Tim. They say they really like the new footprint on the factories. So nice job.
No, they said Tim, they like your new skirt.
Was that a pun, Forrest?
No, I don't think that was fun at all.
Did you don't think that was a pun when you said they like your new skirt?
Not even fun.
Forrest says he's in denial.
What about the roll-off space of the factories? Because that's still pretty big, isn't it?
Oh, like how far off the ramp they come?
Yeah, like how far that sort of stops the factory from being built close to other buildings and stuff.
Doesn't seem like it's that far. I'm looking at these 2 air factories. I mean, I guess they're air factories, so maybe it doesn't count, but...
It's like that vehicle factory close to that mechs. I think that's about the distance between there and the vehicle factory that you have the roll-off distance. And the non-build.
Yeah, you don't like it?
Well, I think sort of in terms of, because like your commander has such limited build, and in the early sort of the first factory that you build, it's quite sort of difficult to place it without having to sort of walk the commander.
I already fixed. Yeah,
Have him move right all the way through the build queue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's getting some of these proxy bases out here. So Martinus is doing the T1 this time, right?
Although, well, I thought he was doing T2 just with swap positions, but there's no T2 up yet.
I think Zaphod is rushing tier 2, like, in theory. It actually looks like he's just playing Planetary Annihilation, which is alright.
I think he was rushing T2 as a thought experiment.
Yeah, just a thought experiment.
Oh,
here it goes.
There it goes.
I think it's alright that he waited a little longer, right? Like, now he has a little bit more economy to support it, but arguably, Martinus could just build it too. But in some ways, he's actually giving Martinus more time to build out his army to attack with.
Yeah, Like, Martinez has definitely been able to consolidate, and now he's getting out his bulk factories, which are going to produce those combat fabs and stingers.
I mean, he's building out 4 more factories here and 2 there. His power efficiency's what we call in the crapper.
Whoa, I'm looking at the Halo belts being built up north by Martinez. It's like, I want some factories now.
Yeah. He's doing it everywhere, yeah. I am impressed by his ability to focus so much attention.
Although I guess they're sort of set and forget in a way.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, they are. Their economies are totally equal right now, except for Martinez is actually slightly behind because of the power.
Yeah.
And Zaphod is floating both. Like, he's floating 40% of his metal economy, a third, somewhere in that range.
He could definitely be getting more build power on that T2 factory.
Looks like he's using it now.
Yeah.
A lot of it
the
now.
commander to assist it.
Yeah, the commander is like 3 fabricators.
This is a lot of build power from Martinez now, and on all sides as well. Zaphod's going to see it if he's not careful from his expansions, because, you know, build a factory in your back garden.
Well, Zaphod has he has radar up pretty much everywhere, so he's got a lot of ability to see. If you just take his perspective, you can see that he's got vision on the growing army outside his base. So
yeah.
I don't see any combat fabbers. I kind of think an army without combat fabbers is broken. Oh, here he's got one.
Yeah.
So that's starting.
A broken army.
Well, soon to be broken army. I don't know. Like they're so good, man.
An army marches on its stomach. This case being the combat fabs.
That's right. So Martinez has actually started to, like, as soon as
Third ring.
Zaphod started building that advanced factory, as soon as Zaphod started building that advanced factory, he started to fall behind in economy, but now he's like pumping it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as that Faber gets out, he's going to go further into his base where he's slightly more defended. And because Martinez hasn't put any pressure on him at this point, he's been able to get those defenses. And because the walls are there as well, the combat Faber have a tougher job to keep those Infernos alive.
Yeah, he needs a couple of them. How many does he have? Does he have several?
He has one currently in that forward army. He's got another one being built, but it's taking a while because his energy is not very good at the moment.
Yeah, and if his energy is not very good, then the combat fabbers won't work that well.
A third ring going up from Martinez at the North Pole. Another row of vehicle factories. This is where all his energy's going.
Yeah.
All
those factories.
Now
well, I mean, this is an interesting outcome. I think that he's taken so long that it's not going to go well for him.
Yeah.
But and Zaphod's got like a decent mix. Here we go.
Here we go. He's up against a 2-point laser.
He's got a good set of vanguards or infernos here.
Well, they are kind of in vanguards with the combat fabbers.
Yeah.
Although he's only got one, so it's like spoilt for choice as to what it wants to heal at this point.
Yeah, he's only got the one. I think if he had had 4, like this could have gone very differently, but he would have had to stop producing. Still, he's got in there. He killed that
trying to scale away from that commander.
Yeah, which I think is good. The commander is actually taking a bit of damage here now. Grenadiers lobbing in their damage, and the tanks as well. He hasn't fired Uber Cannon, and he's into the base pretty heavily. He's actually on the tier 2 metal extractor. Did he get the the Faber?
Still alive. Nope.
Nope.
It's just
just died.
The second one is still alive, getting the energy though. But the base.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
The base is starting to crumble a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. They're building those walls.
And
the Uber Cannon misses. Go around, and deceased. Okay, and yet another raid over by the water, coming along, picking up some more gains there. Zaphod's economy is now in the red. So
He's got
yeah, he's got
a couple of vanguards there though.
and another proxy of factories by the South Pole.
God.
Yeah,
This
it's
has
not
also got-
decided yet. And he's also got his own economy. Like, I think he should start his own tier 2 now.
Yeah, he's also got air factories going up on the opposite side of the equator for some reason. I'm not sure whether that's going to be spamming up bumblebees shortly or what's going on. But I think bumblebees might be useful because there's a distinct lack of AA now in Zaphod's base. There's only those couple of hummingbirds and a couple of static defenses.
Yeah. A couple of vanguards moving in from Zaphod.
They aren't going to last particularly long with micro, but without
Yeah,
micro.
but they won't. But there's no micro going on. Like, he's got a lot to pay attention to with all the stuff. There he goes.
Go.
And getting pretty close there. I think they're going to take it out pretty easily now that they're moving away.
Yeah. I feel as though the Vanguard is more viable in terms of its movement speed now, but against T1, with that movement speed, unless it's a sufficient T1 force, the Vanguard is just going to be like, whoop, and with Pelican drops as well, wow.
Yeah.
There's actually an attack going on towards the north now against this 2-point laser turret, which just got
Yeah.
a couple of free kills there.
There's another one coming on down here. Only one combat faber again. And crashing into 3 towers, that's not going to be enough.
Plus 3 levelers as well. That's really not nice.
Yeah. I think he may have taken too long, but because Zaphod is now just equal in metal, and he's got about the same power, just a little bit more. But he's going to continue to increase that very quickly.
I'd be interested to see if one of these players goes orbital at this point.
Oh, that would be
mix
interesting.
Things up.
And the new orbital is so juicy and delicious.
Yes. I must admit though, in the previous build, I'm not sure whether it's the same with this one, but when we had so many orbital units, like myself, Nano and Madsai, when we swapped between planets, we just saw lines with nothing at the top of them for some reason.
Is that
I'm not sure
right?
if that's- yeah, that was the previous one, not this balance patch though. So like we had.
Well,
three
all that
planets-
stuff comes from the main build. Like the balance patch is pretty much just data changes.
But, yeah, so like we had each of us like a ton of orbital units, and when cycling between planets, we just had a whole bunch of lines going to nothing.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting to know. Well, from a map control perspective, Martinez has really taken over, but from an economy perspective, of course, Zaphod is now really starting to pass him.
Yeah, Martin is trying to keep up with T1 by getting it out with something like 15 T1 Fabers there.
But he just lost like a whole row of factories by the South Pole, so
Yeah.
he's going to lose all those factories from that raiding force. Can probably just punch its way into his building, his base down there.
Yeah,
like, and
Martinez
given
has
the-
no
the-
defense on that side either.
Yeah, given the row of energy and his current energy problems.
They're actually starting a second vehicle factory now, second T2 vehicle factory.
Well, they are relatively cheap for tier 2 to build. That was kind of what started this whole thing. I'm surprised he's starting it with basic fabricators.
He's still running a deficit on metal. Wow.
Well, it's easy to run a deficit on metal because everything spends so quickly.
Yeah. I fear that unless these Infernos are going to have a sufficient combat faber force with them, the way that Zaphod is walling himself in now is just going to make it almost impenetrable for Martinez without that combat faber backing.
Yeah, I do think Martinez is kind of lost now. It's interesting that would be the case with so much map control, but I guess that's kind of what you guys have been trying to say about the tier 2 economy. Well, I mean, I think he should start his own tier 2 economy now. Like, he's got enough stuff.
If he just like pauses production for a little bit, gets all his fabbers in one location to just absolutely ham out
Yeah.
the T2, like, I think he could probably just about manage it and keep up with the game.
He's got a huge pile of fabbers at the North Pole that he could use from that one factory.
There's also a nuke coming out from Zaphod now, which will take a while. I also noted the anti-nuke seems to be almost 5 times the cost of a nuke launcher in the previous build. I'm not sure if that's the same in the balance one.
The nuke launcher or the nuke anti-nuke?
The nuke launcher and the anti-nuke launcher.
In this build, they're much more expensive because of the tier 2 economy.
How'd they compare to one another, though?
The anti-nuke... sorry, the launcher. Anti-nuke launcher is 18,000. And the nuke launcher, where are you? Or silo? Nuke launcher is 21,000. So the launchers are very similarly priced. The nuke launcher being slightly more expensive, 21,640 versus 18,000. So about 3,000, so 1/6 as much. The nuke, anti-nuke missile is 51,000, almost 52,000, but the nuke missile is 130,000. So a rate of levelers moving their way into Martinus's stuff,
Yeah.
kind of near the equator.
If this doesn't finish soon, I fear I may have to hop off mid battle because it's like 20 to 1 over here.
Well, there's a giant set of tier 1 units moving in on the commander now.
Oh wow.
It'd be pretty funny if he's out like raiding the world, but meanwhile the tier 1 units come in and crunch him. But he's got a bunch of tier 2 levelers. He's got a bunch of levelers coming out now to try to fight that force.
Yeah, one other thing I noticed about the nukes, it's only the little tip of the missile now. You seem to have got rid
Yeah,
of the
that's a
body.
bug.
Oh, that's a bug, okay. I thought
Yeah,
it might have been.
I've already got that on file. Saddens me greatly.
It's like a tiddly nuke.
So Zaphod pretty much has a surround on this invasionary force, so that's
Yeah, it's gonna go. No combat
Yeah.
fabs either.
no combat fabs, yeah. The Inferners are munching down the walls.
Zaphod got a group of units moving in raiding expansions on the back of the planet as well now.
Yeah. Like those guys have been kind of wandering around everywhere, just wrecking stuff.
I think Martinus realizing I've left it a bit too long.
Yeah, it's too long. Like, Zaphod.
Unfortunately, I really do have to hop off now.
All
I'm
right,
afraid.
I'll see you.
So yeah, thank you for letting me sit in on this.
Mhm.
It's been good.
Yep.